Welcome, everyone, to Couch Potato Diary. Happy Friday. My name is Peter Klein. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Saw in the bottom corner there, we are presented by Sea of Dead. Head over to seaofdead403.ca and get all that great Calgary swag. So this one, the taped variety for podcast listeners, that's all of them. This one, we've been previewing it all week. Time to give some picks. So we're going to do the Super Bowl picks. We're also going to put a bow on some UFC 324 and 325 stuff with the fights to make coming off of the big pay-per-views that the Ultimate Fighting Championship has had over the last couple of weekends. Normally we stream these live on twitch.tv/primetimepk, kick.com/primetimepk, and youtube.com/@couchpotatodiary. Sorry, apparently I'm very choked up about this. Follow me on social media. I'm at Primetime Klein on X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. And if you're watching this and want to give it a listen, or just in a bit more of a convenient fashion, you can do so on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Just search Couch Potato Diary. So, we've broken it down from every angle. It is now time to make our picks. Super Bowl 60. It is the Patriots. It's the Seahawks. It's this weekend. So, who we got? Let's break it all down. Super Bowl 60 is here, and it is the Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. Like I said, we've broken it down a ton. We're going to have a bunch of videos out, a bunch of podcasts out, broken it down from every angle that I could think of. So what are now the key parts of this? Let's start with when Seattle has the football. One of the big things is going to be the run game for the Seattle Seahawks. This is a good New England defense. We've talked about the easy path that they have had with the quarterbacks that they have faced. It's still a talented unit. Like I still think if they had faced a murderer's row of opponents, the numbers would be different, but this would still be a good defense. Like there's no denying that, I don't think. Anyway, but it's a very good Seattle offense. So that's going to be an interesting. It was one of the matchups we said to watch for is the run game, specifically, I guess, Kenneth Walker going up against the New England. Actually, maybe, I don't know if we made that a matchup to watch, but I'm making it one now. Kenneth Walker and this running attack going up against New England. That could be him out of the backfield as well. And the classic announcer trope of, well, that's just an extension of the run game, which I'm joking about it. I've said that on football broadcasts before. So guilty as charged, I suppose. But that's going to be important. You can't... Sam Darnold, it's been an amazing renaissance, and it's been a really cool story, but you also, he is not someone where the defense can be fully geared on him, and you can have a successful day if you're the Seahawks. So Walker needs to be someone who is very involved in the game plan, and needs to be someone who is very effective to get things moving a little bit more for Seattle. The thing that I am the most interested about is what happens with Jackson Smith in Jigba. Again, Patriots, they have a good defense, but JSN is a different animal, and we've talked about it this week. This is a New England team that has struggled against those high-level receivers, and they're high-level receivers, so does everyone, but they haven't faced a ton of them this year, but when they face guys who you could consider number one receivers, they have struggled. Myers, your mileage may vary on him, but he was the number one with the Raiders. He had a good game. It was Drake London had a really strong performance against them as well. Chris Olave had a really good game as well. Zay Flowers was all right in this one. So they have kind of struggled against the upper echelon of NFL wide receivers, and make no mistake about it, JSN is in the upper echelon of receivers. He's in the penthouse, no doubt about it. So what do they do to try to slow that down? I'm really fascinated by this. Do they put Gonzalez over on Kupp and then just double team JSN on the one side? Do you put your main guy on him? Do you kind of float it around, mix things up a little bit? I'll be really interested to see what happens there, because if he just gets going, if he has another game like he had in the NFC title game, New England doesn't have a hope of winning this game. I don't see it. They need him to not be the biggest player and the best player in this game, or New England does not have a hope or a prayer of competing in Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots, when they have the football, the key is going to be over at left tackle with Will Campbell, who has had a number of issues throughout the postseason in just dealing with, now, again, some high-level pass rushers, but you're going to deal with that with the speed and athleticism that the Seattle defense can bring. So how is he going to be able to handle all of that? And how is New England going to be able to adjust if he isn't able to really hold up his end of the bargain over on the left side? I think Ramondre Stevenson's going to be very interesting in this game. That was actually one of our key matchups to look at because of the success that Blake Corum and Kyron Williams had running the ball in the NFC title game. Ramondre Stevenson could be a big factor in this. The big one for Seattle, we've talked about it throughout the week, they cannot let New England get this big play offense going. You're probably not going to stop it 100% of the time. Like they get theirs. Drake May throws a really good deep ball, and Kayshon Boutte runs really, really quickly. It's a good combination to have. So you're not going to be able to put the top on that one all night long. But the longer they can keep it bottled up, I think you're perfectly fine accepting that that this offense is going to get moving. But if we can keep them and force them into those 11, 12, 13, 14 play drives, at some point the kid's going to make a mistake. At some point, we're going to force the kid into a mistake. If I'm Seattle on their sideline, that's what I'm saying. We're going to force this dude into making a mistake here at some point. We're just too good not to. And that's the way that they kind of do it. He is going to get his with his legs. That's just, it's not something that a defensive coordinator is going to be thrilled to accept, but that's just something you have to accept when it comes to this one. It's then like, how do you kind of contain that? How do you bounce back from it? How do you recover from it? And try to figure it out there. So I have been all week very strongly suggesting that I think Seattle wins this one. And there was someone in the comments that was saying, like, everyone keeps sleeping on the Patriots. And I will admit, I'm sleeping on the Patriots. And clip this, whatever, when the Super Bowl is done. If the confetti is the color of the New England Patriots and it's falling down, the ones that are in the shape of the Lombardi Trophy, which is still, it's a dumb thing, but it's really cool for me. Not the point. When that's all falling down and it's the Patriots who have won, you can clip this and call me an idiot. I don't think this is close. I think 4.5. Honestly, the thing that gives me the most pause is Vegas having this at 4.5. It's like, what are they seeing that I'm not? Because I thought that Seattle was going to open up as about a touchdown favorite. And when they didn't, I thought, okay, that line's getting bet up throughout the next couple of weeks. But it's stuck around 5.5, 4.5, basically this whole time. That's the thing that gives me pause. But I just look at it. When Seattle has the ball, I think they have an offense that is built in a way that can take advantage of where New England hasn't really been taken advantage of before. And they have a defense that can continue some of the struggles that May has had in this postseason. Incredible regular season. Came very close to winning an MVP, and deservedly so. But in these playoffs, he has not been overly effective, and they have just had the good gosh darn fortune of facing some teams and some quarterbacks that haven't been able to take advantage of his mistakes in the way that I think the Seattle team does. Styles make fights. I think this is a really tough matchup for the Patriots. I don't see them being close in this football game. I like Seattle. I like them by a bunch. I think that the Seahawks are going to win Super Bowl 60. That's my pick. I think they're covering the 4.5. We'll get to best bets a little bit later on, but that's a little bit later on in the week. Sorry. But that's where I'm going right now. If you're a New England fan, I'm sure there's a disagreement. What am I not seeing? Let me know in the comments, or just back me up. Let me know in the comments, and we can all chat about it in there. And while you're at it, if you want to share this with a Seahawks fan and be like, yeah, we got it. Or if you want to share it with the Patriots fan in your life, be like, heh, told you. You can, or share it with them after and you can all make fun of me. Either way, hit that share button and let them know where you can get in on the conversation. We have some great chats in the live chat. Would like to get that going a little bit more in the comments. A lot of that's on me, but either way, want more people involved in these things, want to keep growing the channel, and you guys sharing the video sure would help out a long, long way. We now go to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It has been a whirlwind couple of weeks in the UFC, and they're at the apex, there's still fight night cards going on, but it is now on to what's next for the fighters coming out of the last two premium live events for the UFC, and that's where we come in. Here are the fights to make coming out of UFC 324 and UFC 325. So, UFC 324, a couple weeks ago. UFC 325, week ago. Let's talk now about what should be next for some of the key fighters coming out of that. We'll go chronologically. UFC 324, the fights to make. It's obvious. Justin Gaethje against Ilia Topuria. It's a no-brainer. You unify the belts, you move on. Topuria, I can't imagine that all the legal stuff that he is going through right now is awesome to deal with, but it sounds like he's coming back. So you let it roll. And you just, let's unify these titles and let's move on. This doesn't need a whole lot of conversation. Up next, Sean O'Malley. I have him against Petr Yan for the title. In this world, it is not that O'Malley deserves a shot over Merab. It's that I want Merab to take more of a rest. That guy ran the horse into the ground last year. And you could see that catch up to him in the title fight to close out 2025. Losing to Petr Yan. So I want him to rest up a little bit more. You give O'Malley, who is one of your most marketable stars, another opportunity, probably at the White House, and you let Merab kind of build this up a little bit. So I think that's probably the way that this goes. And if Merab wants to come back right away, he gets the title shot immediately. He has absolutely earned it, and you just figure something else out with Sean O'Malley. The person that O'Malley beat, Song Yadong, I have him against Amin Zahabi. Let's go with the Canadian here. We're just missing out on the meme because these two are ranked 5 and 6 in the rankings. It seems to make some sense. It gives Amin a chance to work his way up into a top fight, or you see what level Song Yadong really is. Like, he has bumped up on that ceiling to try to break through into the top tier a number of times. Let's see how close he actually is to that level, or you give Zahabi one of the biggest fights of his career. Either way, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. In the heavyweight division, Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on Curtis Blades. Cortez Acosta, called for it. May as well give him that fight. It's heavyweight. It's not going to be pretty if it lasts more than 45 seconds, but it will at least definitely be a fight. Up next, Natalia Silva against Valentina Shevchenko. There's no one who's ready for a title shot in the division. It's a bit of a lackluster win for her, but I still think you reward her for that victory. And she is still, I think, the most deserving challenger in that division right now. Coming off of that one, Rose Namajunas, I have her against Alexa Grasso. Both former champions, neither have looked overly impressive as of late. So it gets one of them a win, and it really maybe does drive home that it's time to move on for the other one. Up next, I have Gian Silva against Diego Lopez. I don't think that he is there for a title shot over whether it is the Murphy or Evloev winner, but I do think that he deserves a fight to get him close. So Lopez has shown that he's not Volkanovski, but where is he really in this division? I think another fight to someone of that caliber really makes sense. For Arnold Allen, I have him against Patricio Pitbull. A couple solid vets. Chance to see where each other sits. I think that one makes sense. Umar Nurmagomedov, I have him going up against the loser of O'Malley against Yan. Now, the problem is this means Umar is sitting for a while. That's tough. But Merab gets the winner. You give Umar the loser of it. I think if you made Merab fight one more time before getting a title shot, I don't think that's really fair to him. And if you made him fight Umar, that's really not fair to him. I know it wasn't against the most resistance. I thought Nurmagomedov looked really good on a couple weekends ago. He's right there for a title shot. I think he needs one more win to get him into that spot. So now, the winners and losers, I guess, on UFC 325. Not as many here. Alex Volkanovski. He'll go up against the winner of Lerone Murphy, Movsar Evloev. They're not the biggest names, but the winner there is still the clear number one. So that, I think, is where this should probably end up going. And as we talked about before, Lopez against Silva just makes sense to me. Up next, Benoit Saint Denis. I have him against Paddy Pimblett. Both guys trying to break through into the championship level again. This would be a really good proving ground. They're both basically on the same timetable, so I think it does kind of check out. Pimblett isn't just ready for, hey, one more fight and let's get back in. I think Arman Sarukian, like that, I think Arman kills him. So, not literally, but I think that you kind of, Benoit Saint Denis working his way up. I think that one makes a whole lot of sense. Dennis Hooker against Mauricio Huffy. Again, both on the same timetable. Huffy, he shot up the rankings with the win over Fiziev. Time for another pretty good test. Dan Hooker, he's not going to love being in kind of a gatekeeper type of a role, but I do think that's kind of where we are seeing him at this particular time. So I think that's the fight to make. And then Fiziev, I have him against Renato Moicano. Both looking for a bounce back again. Moicano, he may want something sooner with his fight against Ortega being called off a couple of times now, but they're both close in the rankings. Both could use a win, and I think it'd be an interesting fight for both of them. So that's what I see coming out of the pay-per-view doubleheader that the UFC had over the last couple of weekends. Where are you guys at? Who do you want to see these fighters in there against? Let me know down in the comments. Normally, like I said before, we stream these live on a few different platforms. That schedule is going to change a little bit now. I'm going to be on the radio here in Calgary a little bit more consistently over the next month. So figuring out what that looks like right now, because in the past, it's looked like me not on here, and but now that I know that that's going to be something that's a little bit more of an extended stay, that's not an option here. I love doing this stuff. I love chatting with you guys. Love doing the live streams, so I don't want that to go anywhere. It's just going to look a little different than it has in the last few months, and I guess years now at this point. So either way, we do stream these lives. Make sure you follow me on social media so you get the updates for when we're going live here again. That's going to do it for this one here today. A quicker one. They normally are when I don't have you guys to bounce a lot of these things off of. So, yeah, thank you so much for hanging out today. Again, get that fresh Calgary swag over at seaofdead403.ca. Best of luck. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everyone. And we'll talk again really, really soon here on Couch Potato Diary.